The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Department of Homeland Security, specifically the Team Obama Organizing for America, they've developed this massive, I would call it a very massive disinformation campaign where they've hired people, 3,575. I still don't know the magic to that number, other than the fact that maybe it might be something due to a budget or whatever, a money thing, where these people will be on the Internet, using the Internet as a disinformation tool for disinformation, and very good at it, attacking Christian sites, attacking conservative sites. If you're anti-abortion or pro-life, they're going to be coming after and marginalizing. It's vilify and nullify and then destroy, basically. That's their intent. And this is happening right now. That, according to my source, 2 days after the inauguration, they put this into play. And this is something that people have to really understand, that there are, and one person perhaps although there's over 3,500 people involved in this, any one of those and all of those can create multiple identities. So that 3,500 people could turn into 35,000 identities.
Okay, so what he was shown is that the Obama campaign is simply changing its form, its entity. It's going to continue to exist, not as the Re-elect Obama campaign, but it will take on another legal entity, shape, and that this entity is hiring or has hired over 3,500 people to be cyber warriors.
Correct.
On the Internet against people who oppose Obama.
That is correct. And this is not some pieced together, thrown together type of operation. This is an operation that has a very strong structure to it. There are leaders, supervisors, people in higher places that are counseling or instructing, training these people, not necessarily in the technical aspects, because they came in with the technical knowledge, but with the idea of, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to divert, disrupt, and destroy various people, various sites on the Internet. Let's use the Internet as a tool to advance the Obama agenda. Now, notice I said the Obama agenda and not the agenda of the administration or the American administration. This is strictly an Obama initiative, or the people that are around him. It's their initiative.
Doug, I've already experienced this hit. I mean, I know what this is like, so I can tell others what it's going to be like, what they're going to experience. I've already gone through it. In 2008, when Mr. Obama was running for president, I was using this microphone to tell everybody, hey, this guy is a Marxist communist revolutionary. This is a communist takeover. You elect this joker, kiss the Constitution goodbye. You're going into a communist dictatorship. And I was very open in the 2008 campaign, calling him a Marxist communist and exposing his fraudulent identity and raising a lot of other legal questions about who and what he is. Anyhow, Doug, immediately after Mr. Obama went in the White House, January 20th, 2009, our radio ministry was targeted for a takedown.
Wow.
And I'm not going to go into the details of it on the air, but I'll just say this. An individual appeared out of nowhere with a large contribution. And, so he immediately, got himself, noticed. And then he began to pressure me for a job inside, True News. And I felt very, leery. It was just something about he had all the attributes of being a active duty Spetsnaz commando.
Wow.
And I actually said that back then. Okay. I said that privately. I said he looks like active duty Spetsnaz. Okay. And so we rebuffed his efforts to get inside the organization, and then he launched a cyber war on me. And for 14 months, he and his wife conducted a 24/7 cyber war against us. And they had no jobs. This was very interesting. They had no employment. And for 14 months, they lived on the internet day and night and spread lies about me. I mean, vicious lies.
Right.
I mean, they told some whoppers, okay? And it was having a terrible effect on us because, even some of our supporters started to believe this junk,
Right.
And so I really didn't know how to handle it, didn't know how to fight back. But Doug, what they were doing was that they were using multiple aliases. They were going onto the forums of Christian websites, of patriot websites, of prepper websites, anybody where there would be a likelihood that the people using those forums were listening to True News. And they were going onto those forums under multiple names, multiple email addresses, multiple online identities, and they would literally have conversations with themselves.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I want our audience to understand how devilish this is. In other words, this individual would post a derogatory statement on a forum under a fake name, then log off and log back on under another name, and then respond to what they posted with the other fake name.
Absolutely.
And some of these forums would have conversations with 10, 15 people, and they're all the same person. And if you didn't know anything about this, and you just went to that forum, you would think that all these people were bad-mouthing me.
Exactly.
But it was all one person. Okay? Now, Doug, we hired a private detective, and we hired a lawyer. And I did my own investigation. And I found I found an office that this guy had, which he didn't talk about, but I found out, and I confirmed that it was his office, and I used Google Earth, and I zoomed in on the building. And lo and behold, right there on the building was the name of the owner of the building. It was the SEIU Union.
Wow.
What are the odds of that? The most liberal, not liberal, the Communist Union.
Of course.
The Communist Union. It's the union that pushed for Obamacare. And so this is what I was up against. And then this went on for 14 months. And then, 14 months. And it was having a very devastating impact on this ministry, on our finances. And, I started to realize, man, this guy is hitting me with it's like military precision. I thought, man, I'm being worked over. This is not just a fruitcake. This is not just some nutball out here. This guy is working me over with the precision of a military operation. And then, after that thought came to me, Doug, I received an anonymous letter, and if that person is listening today, thank you so much. You have no idea what it did for me, but there was an anonymous letter, and inside was a small manual, and it was a U.S. Marine Corps manual on psychological warfare to bring down an enemy.
Wow.
And I knew, Doug, that somebody was trying to help me. Somebody was trying to help me understand what was happening to me. And once I put this all together, then we went on the offensive, and suddenly the guy disappeared. I mean, disappeared, websites went down, everything disappeared, and he changed his name.
It's easy to do when you have a legend, when you are a legend to begin with. Exactly, and for you, now this is a testament to you, for you to withstand that type of sustained attack is really a testament to your credibility,
No, to the Lord.
Well,
the Lord sustained
the Lord,
me.
Yes. Well,
I was black and blue. I didn't know what was going on, but the Lord sustained me, and he supernaturally opened my eyes to understand and see that this was an attack with military precision. Now, what you're saying is that your source is telling you is that the Obama campaign has hired over 3,500 of these bums to launch a full-time attack against anybody who is opposing the Obama agenda.
Exactly, and to launch accusations of racism, of bigotry, of you name it, whatever we've seen over the last 4 years. Just, I won't even say double it. It'll be an exponentially dangerous and dramatic attack against people, because you see, an informed, just as an armed populace, is a danger to these people in power. But the information, we are making a difference. I believe you're making a difference. I think we all are, in terms of informing the public, and they can't have that. They cannot have that. So rather than just pull the plug and leave everyone saying, well, you know, what happened? It's much more effective to marginalize and to vilify you
and smear the credibility of the people who are exposing the Obama operation.
Exactly, because we are a society that relies on this technology, and so they know, and just as you receive that manual or something like it is certainly being implemented. The various aspects of that are being implemented to take us out and to make us look like total fools or non-credible people.
I thought it was interesting, the title that the manual gives Obama.
You know, that was one thing. My source kind of said this almost in passing, as if it was meaningless, and I thought, the Pharaoh of the Internet. I mean, really. I thought that was a very odd characterization. And
we've been calling him the Egyptian Pharaoh for nearly 2 years.
Well, you know, and my question is this an in-your-face kind of statement, or because some of these people, you know, they'll make statements or write statements, motivational or otherwise, and not realize the significance. But I'm not sure if the significance was lost on the writer of this, or if this was an intentional thing. My source was not he didn't know.
But last year, Rush Limbaugh said that he had a bad dream one night. This is for real. He said he had a bad dream, and that he was a slave, and Obama was a pharaoh, and and Rush Limbaugh was building, as a slave, he was building a monument to Pharaoh Obama. And when I heard Rush say it, I was like, Rush, that's not a bad dream. This is a prophetic dream. God is trying to tell you what is happening.
Well, haven't we seen this, Rick, with the architecture of just the architecture being used by the campaign, that was used by the campaign here recently, the Egyptian style or the old style, I don't want to say pantheon, but the appearance of the structures.
Mm-hmm. In 2008, they nominated him, basically at the altar of Zeus.
Right, exactly. So I think that there is dare I say this, a demonic component or an aspect to this, something that is...
How about Antichrist?
Well, yes.
I mean, they refer to him as a Messiah, a Savior.
Right.
He's godlike. The latest person, Chris Rock, said he's our father. We have to obey him. He's our father.
And see that. Now that was one thing too. My source did not specifically reference that, but it's that type of the Hollywood glamour, the characterizations that people want to spread.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.